All right, we've got a little bit of a trouble job here, and I wanted to shoot this one with you guys to see what we can do for an outcome on this one. Yes, you guys see we got the glasses on. Candyman is getting old, and I've noticed that these really help out, especially when you're dealing with pinholes with the bodywork. So we've got them on. We're gonna hopefully need these when we're doing this color, because this is one of the older 41Vs. Now you guys are seeing the 46V, which is a brighter, more vivid color. This is the older one. This is a 2016. So being this is going to be older, it's going to have fade, and we have to use the camera. So I figured we'd shoot this one with you guys. We'll do a spray out. We'll see what we get, and hopefully we get a good match, because using the 1.5 coat application, we might not be able to put all that on because this is faded. So let's get in there. I'll show you guys. We're painting a lift gate and a bumper. We'll do our spray out and see what this camera is going to do for this faded out 41V. All right, so we've got the booth running. We're just trying to get this one banged out as quick as possible, but we want to make sure that we get a good match for the vehicle. We're shooting a new bumper. We've already went ahead and sealed it, and we sealed our brand new OEM lift gate as well. So when we were shooting this color, we did get a good match on it, but I'm kind of curious to see if it's gonna adjust it based off of the fade of the vehicle. So you guys know, if you follow the channel, that the Glazer system is a 1.5 coat application. So I'm wondering if we're gonna have trouble, because without that 1.5 coats, will we have the right look we need for this vehicle, and will it have that faded look? So we've got it on the computer. We've got ourselves a 90, and we've already mixed up the ground coat. So we're gonna go ahead and apply our ground coat to our card, to our parts, and then we'll start putting our candy on the card before we move into the ground coat on the parts. That way we can see if we're gonna be in the ballpark for this color. I've had good luck with the Glazer with the 3 stages in the 46V, but I don't think I've sprayed the 41V yet, because this is an older, outdated color that Mazda had before this new version that is a lot more vivid. And to me, it's gonna last longer because it is a little bit darker of a color. That's why it won't fade as fast. So let's go ahead and apply our ground coat on our spray out card as well as our parts. All right, we've got our ground coat on it. We're gonna go ahead and let that dry, and then we'll apply our candy on our card to see how many coats we're gonna need, being this is a faded color. All right, so while we're waiting on that base coat to dry, we did mix up our candy coat. You guys know I always wanna duplicate what the factory had on it, and it looks like they did not clear the inside of this tailgate. So we've got to make sure that we do that to match the OE, and they probably just put one coat of candy on it. So we've got our candy mixed up. We're going to go ahead now and apply it to our card. All right, we've got our spray out card now. We're going to go ahead and check it to the quarter panel, and you guys can see there that we are way dark because this is faded. So we're going to have to do some adjustment to this one, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to dilute down the candy and make it more transparent. All right, so I knew this was going to be a trouble color being this is a faded vehicle. So one trick that I do know in this line is using the blending clear when you want to make this paint stay a little bit open longer. If you have a troubled color, you can add a little bit of the blender into your paint. Don't ever go over 10%. But what we're going to do now is add some of that blender into the mid coat. So what that's going to do is it's going to make it not as concentrated. That way I can apply my 1.5 coats where it's not as concentrated and hopefully get a better match. So we'll spray another card now and see what we get with that one. All right, we've got our spray outs, and right there you guys can see how much darker the bottom is with that full concentrated candy, where the top is a lot lighter because we diluted it down, and we needed to do that because we need to get even coverage when we're applying our candy. So we can't really put less than a coat on because that's the way this paint works. And you guys can see there that we have a really good match. We haven't even cleared it yet. Once we clear it, you guys will see that this color will be very, very close for this vehicle and we'll have a good match. So if you're ever in a bind and you see you have a faded car and you know you're going to be applying a candy, especially with the 1.5 coat application, you can dilute down your mid coat, which is going to make it look like a faded job because these cars are dealing with the sun out there. So let's go ahead, put our candy on the parts, and then we'll get it cleared up and check our card again. All right, so one thing you always want to make sure you do is bring your spray out card back to your parts. That way you can see how it looks. You guys see that? That's right on the money as the spray out card is. So as you're applying your candy, make sure you do it consistently and spray your card exactly the way that you applied it to your part. A lot of times I'll set this up next to it. You guys have seen in the older videos. Put this on the car and spray it just like you're spraying the car. That way you know it's going to look like that when you do your verification. So you guys see the top looks really good and the bottom is very dark. So let's go ahead and clear the card and then we'll get everything cleared up. All right, we've got our spray out cards all cleared up. We're gonna go ahead and check them now. These are some dirty spray out cards. You guys know how it is when you're painting and you're ripping and running. So I haven't even taken a break. We've been running basically all through the week, Saturday, Sunday, and then I was back to work because we are buried here at the shop. We've got a lot of work, but look at how nice that color looks with the clear on it now. We've got a good match. If we would have went with what the camera said, being it was too concentrated, being this is a faded vehicle, we would have had a dark color, and now we've got a beautiful match on it. So check out how nice that looks, and then look from the side tone. You guys can see the difference in that color. So let's check it to the back real quick while it's in the sun. And that match looks beautiful. So all right, so I'm really happy with the outcome on this one. Some things like this can really screw up your day when you're dealing with a busy shop, and that's where we've been here at this shop. So we've been working, like I said, all through the weekend to get these cars done, and we did a big project. You guys will see it soon on the channel. But if you're ever in a bind and you have something that is faded out, go ahead in the candy, dilute it down. That way when you apply your coats, especially in a 1.5 coat application system, you don't have really much leeway like you do in some of the other systems where you're putting on multiple coats. This one has to really start out with that right concentrate, or you're gonna have a problem with it. So make sure you dilute it down. Don't go over 10% with it, and just do your spray out cards. That is gonna be the key of doing your spray out cards to verify that your color is gonna match. So I hope you guys got something out of this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.